Hey, I'm Josh, and welcome to iFanboy Mini, the tiny version of the larger comic book show iFanboy, which is ironic that that was the best analogy I can come up with. There was no analogy at all, really, as I want to talk about creativity today and how to become a comic book writer or creator. First of all, it should be stated, I don't know how. I've never done it. I've tried. It hasn't worked out so far, but I haven't given up either. And that's probably the biggest lesson to be learned from it is you have to have an enormous sense of tenacity and a quite thick skin. You know, there is no one route to stardom anymore. There used to be the Marvel tryout book, but these days, you know, there's not going to be one thing that you can do, but there's a bunch of things you can do to help pave the way along. If you're a writer, I'd say the best thing you could ever learn to do is learn to draw, because one of the hardest things is for writers to break in. It's very, very, very difficult. You've either got to find an artist to draw your work and then get that published. Then you've either got to find an artist whose work you like and who fits, and you get them to do it for free, or you have to pay them. And if you're a struggling writer, chances are you can't pay them. So it's sort of a double-edged sword. And then the other thing you got to do, and this part's the free part, is you write. You write all the time, and you read all the time. You read everything you can, and don't just read comics. Read books, watch movies, watch anything with a story. Story is going to be the thing that you want to do, and then you can, but the more you write, the more you will hone your skills, the more you will get better at it, and the more you read, you will understand what works and what doesn't, the kind of stuff you like. And this is going to sound totally cliche, but write for yourself. Write something that you want to write about, something that interests you. Don't try to find the thing in the market that you think is hot. Don't go, you know, zombies and ninjas are big now. I'm going to do that crossover. I mean, you might get that, but then you'll be the zombie ninja guy. And you know, I don't want to be the zombie ninja guy, do you? There are places to find artists. Digital webbing is one of those. They have wanted ads. An artist is a hot commodity, though, so you better have a pretty good pitch. Another thing you can do is there are message boards. iFanboy has a thread for writers and artists on the Revision 3 forums that you can use to hook up with people. You know, a lot of times people just post their thing and then go away. You know, it really helps to be part of a community. If you're going to hang out at the Bendis boards at Jinx World or at our boards, you want to get to know people, and you know, then you start forming relationships, and then you find out so-and-so's an artist, and you can work that way. You know, that's really the main thing here is actually going to be relationships. And it's a very sort of old model of doing things, but that's really the case. You want to get to know people, whether it's online. You know, Matt Fraction on the Days of the Warren Ellis forum a long time ago, he got to know people. He got to know Larry Young, who was publisher. He got to know Warren Ellis, and from there, you know, now he's one of Marvel's top writers. That's how that guy did it. Other guys get to know people at conventions, or, you know, used to be you'd write in letters all the time. That's where Kurt Busiek comes from. You know, he was a letter hack before he'd ever wrote a comic book. But it's about how you know people and how you know how you interact with them and getting them to want to help you out and getting the right eyeballs on things. And it's, you know, it's very much a crapshoot. I've heard about guys, you know, who got their chance to put out a book because they knew a publisher and they were friends with him. He was a guy that he liked to hang out with, and from there, then you can pitch stuff. But you know, just saying I have a really great idea for Green Lantern and sending that in writing form to DC is probably not going to get you anywhere. Sending in a full finished comic book is probably not going to get you anywhere. People want to see, for another thing, they want to see that you can get something published. Whether that means you publish it yourself or you go through one of the smaller houses, you know, that's one way to do it. Another thing you want to look into, if you've got an idea for a book and it's finished, there's the Xeric Grant. And the Xeric Grant gives you money to produce and publish and market your comic book, and that was founded by Peter Laird, one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles co-creators. They were always big into independent comics and stuff like that. So those are just a few things to think about if you really want to get into comic books. It's actually something you got to take seriously. And there's no easy way, and you got to have thick skin and be ready for probably a lot of rejection. But you can get there. If you've got the talent, you've got the drive, and you've got the tenacity, those are some of the things you need to think about, but you probably already know those already. Good luck very much. If you have any questions, send them to contact@ifanboy.com. Go over to ifanboy.com for more content, things like that. Comment on this, or get to revision3.com/ifanboy for more videos. Thanks very much.